Welcome to the Build Your Life Coaching Biz podcast, where you get to learn how to become a professional life coach and start an online coaching business from scratch. I'm your host, Krista Kathleen, a professional certified coach and business mentor. In 2016, I got divorced and left my full-time job as a registered nurse and decided to bravely answer my calling of becoming a life coach so I could help to change lives as I traveled around the world. And now I want to help you discover your purpose too. Having the freedom and flexibility to be your own boss and make as much money as you want right from your laptop will be one of the best gifts you ever give to yourself, your family, and the world. In these episodes, I'll give you real coaching combined with proven strategies and spiritual practices in order to help you build your dream coaching business that feels perfect for you. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So the elusive question of who is my niche? This is a question that is not very useful or helpful. And the reasoning behind that is it's almost impossible to truly figure out who your niche is. I've been coaching now for 6 years and I've run many programs. I've made a lot of money. And to be honest, I still don't really know who my niche is. And for example, I just launched a life coach training program this fall, and we have 11 incredible women in there, and we have women ages in their early 20s up to their 60s. We have women with different skin types, different cultures, different professional backgrounds. We have a therapist, we have a graphic designer, we have a stay-at-home mom. There's just so many different types of humans in this program. And so if I was trying to sit here and figure out all day, okay, who's my ideal client? Who's my niche? Who's the person that I'm supposed to work with? I would be keeping myself very overwhelmed and stuck. And so I want to help you to, instead of saying who my niche is, I want to help you ask a better question. And this question did not come from me. This came from one of my past coaches, Lacey Seitz. And the question is, what's the number one problem I help to solve? Okay, so what's the number one problem I help to solve? And you may not know that yet, but hopefully by the end of this training, maybe you will have more an idea. So for example, I know for myself, and I offer a lot of different types of services and programs under my business name, Krista Kathleen LLC. But the biggest thing that I focus on and what I want to be known for at the end of the day is helping life coaches to become certified and credentialed through the International Coaching Federation. I don't care who signs up to work with me. I don't care what you look like. I don't care what you believe. I don't care how old you are. I don't care what your genitals are. I just want people to come to me to become certified and become credentialed. That's all I care about, right? And it just makes it so much easier and so much more fun to run my business that way when I'm more focused on creating a badass program that solves that particular issue. And then I just trust the universe that the universe will send to me whoever's meant to work with me. And it's not my job, it's not my responsibility to figure out all these details about my ideal client that is just near impossible to figure out. So that's the first thing. The first step is to stop asking the question, who is my niche? Who is my ideal client? And to start asking yourself is like, what's the number one problem I want to help solve here? And let's see, we've got Layla on. Hello, nice to meet you. We have Sophia. Heidi, I'm so happy that you're just loving the coach training program. That's awesome. Yeah, and let's see, I feel so much more confident just after the first few training sessions already, and I can't wait till the end of the training. The retreat's going to be amazing. Aw, thank you so much, Heidi. I really appreciate that glowing review and testimonial. So let's see, Sophia said, yeah, what's the number one problem I want to help solve? I like that. Yeah, it's a way better question to be asking. Okay, so that's one. Number two is treat yourself as your ideal client. Because let's be real. At the end of the day, on some level, we're all egotistical. We're all a little bit narcissistic, right? And we want to help people that are like ourselves. And so I always encourage people to go back, and this will be one of our coaching questions we're going to do at the end, but go back to the time of your life when you were struggling the most, or you were looking for that transformation, you were looking for those answers, and there was that thing. There was like a coach or a person or a process or a program that helped you to get results. Okay, what was that thing? That's you being able to replicate that thing is what's going to be your program moving forward. So for my personal example, before I started my life coach training program, for me, when I was, I'm trying to think, go back to the story here. And I have this all in a book too, Beyond the White Picket Fence, if you want to buy it on Amazon. I put my story in the book. But so what led me to hiring my first life coach is I wanted help starting a side hustle because I was a miserable full-time labor and delivery nurse. And I wanted someone to help me to see my vision and bring my vision to life. And then on top of that, while I was working with my life coach, I went through a divorce and lost my nursing job at the same time. So I needed help transitioning through a major life shift and then starting a new business. And so that was what I really marketed and catered to when I was just focusing on offering people one-on-one coaching, was helping them to get through divorces and get through job loss, and to usually end up wanting to be was starting their own online business, right? So I used my personal self as an example, as like my ideal client and niche. And that's usually what most people end up doing, whether you realize you're doing it or not. So basically you just want to you want to bundle up your expertise. You want to think about if you created a program for yourself at that time when you were struggling the most in your life, and you took yourself through that program, what would that be? Okay. So maybe, so let's use I'm going to use Heidi's example from coach training last night. And she is thinking about, Heidi, I hope that this is okay. I'm using you as an example. I'm assuming it is, but Heidi is a past Reiki. Well, she's a Reiki instructor, and then she's also training to become a life coach with me. And she, I know, has this process that she uses to help people heal. And so she's creating her company or her business name that's called Divine Boss Babes or something along that line. So Heidi could create a Divine Boss Babe Academy, and in this Divine Boss Babe Academy, she can be helping female entrepreneurs to step into the divine and magically heal their energetic blocks that are keeping them stuck from making money and finding clients or something along those lines. And in this academy, she can put in Reiki exercises and meditations and journal prompts, and she can lead group coaching sessions, and right, you're just thinking about what are all kinds of the tools and resources that I've used that's really helped me, and you're just gonna bundle that all together to create this program, and then you slap a name on it, and then that's what you're gonna go out into the world and sell and promote. And there's really not any right way to say, okay, step one, this is how you create your program. Step two, it can literally be any process that you want it to be, but it's your special process that helps people to get results. And even if you haven't helped anyone else to get results, you probably yourself have taken you through this program and have gotten results. And that's why you're excited to share it and talk about it. So going back to, I don't know if I got off on topic there, but so number 2, right, is basically treat yourself as your ideal client, and then put together a kick-ass program or service or product that would help your past self to get results to where you're bundling up your expertise. Okay, and let's see, I want to check in here. Totally okay. Yes, ma'am. Divine boss babes. Holy shit. That's what I called it. Yeah, cool. Okay, I think we're on the same wavelength here. So that's number 2. The third secret is to, once you have this program or product or service put together, and you need something. You can't sell, you can't make money in your business if you don't have anything to sell. So you have to sell something. And so once you have this thing that you're ready to sell, you're going to start talking and sharing about the program anywhere and everywhere, and with anyone who's willing to listen, essentially. So you can share it on your email list. You can talk about it on Facebook or on Instagram or on your podcast. You can do Facebook Live, or what I'm doing right now, on Pinterest, on YouTube. Hold on, I'm going to take a drink here. Right, but you're just going to or it can even be in-person stuff too. It doesn't have to be online. It's just, I run my business online, so I do everything online pretty much. But you're going to, think about if anyone here is watching this as a parent, when you're really proud of your kids and you're excited about your kids, which most of us are as parents, you share your photos everywhere, right? You share photos of your kids on Instagram and you're putting them on stories, and because they're so adorable and cute, and you're I want to share this with the world, right? It's the same exact thing with our program. Our program's our baby, it's our child, and we love it so, so much. And we're oh my gosh, I want to share this with everybody I know and love and care about. So it's a very similar type of comparison, but you do need to really fall in love with whatever it is that you're offering, and be proud of it and be excited about it, or else you're not going to want to share about it. But so what's going to happen is, once you go out there and you start talking and sharing about your program, people are going to naturally start following your content, and you're going to start building up an audience, and you're going to have followers, and then people are going to start joining, and if you have freebies, they're going to download that. And then you're going to start to gain so much new information and knowledge from seeing the type of people who are signing up for your things and who are starting to follow you. And you're going to start to see repeating patterns. And by taking that action, by putting your badass program out into the world, that's how you're gaining clarity on who your niche is, who your ideal client. So we're doing it all backwards. We don't want to sit here and try to figure out who is this person I'm supposed to help. Go out there, put your program out into the world, and then see who it attracts. And then you'll figure out your niche that way. That's what I've been doing for years, and it works so well. So even though I said I don't really know who my niche is, I do kind of have an idea. And like I said, I know that I tend to attract women in their late 20s to early 30s that are usually white. They're spiritual, they're open-minded, they love to talk about taboo shit, they're passionate, generally live in the United States. I'm basically describing myself. I have a lot of different types of people in my audience, but that's, if I could narrow it down, it's generally people who are like me. And like I said, like attracts like. So you're going to end up attracting a lot of people that are like yourself. That's just how it works. So your niche will reveal itself in time, and by taking action, you'll gain that clarity. And then another thing I want to add to this step as well is that a lot of times once you start putting yourself out there, and we'll go into this about, Chris, you might be saying, Krista, what does that mean to put yourself out there? And we'll talk about that. But once you start putting yourself out there and creating content, people are just going to naturally start reaching out to you and asking for help with things they need. And to be honest, I didn't even want to be a life coach. I didn't even know what it meant to be a life coach, but I just felt so called to do Facebook Lives and to write these deep, heartfelt, soulful posts on Facebook. I started everything on Facebook back in the day. Before I branched out to doing a podcast and YouTube and a Facebook group, I just did everything on my personal Facebook page. And from there, I had multiple people reach out and ask me if I would be their life coach. And I didn't even know what that meant. I didn't know how to be a life coach, but I just took it as a sign from the universe of okay, maybe I'm meant to be a life coach. So as you can all see, that by just taking that action and showing up and sharing what's on your heart, people will start to come to their own conclusions and start to say like, hey, can you help me with XYZ? And so maybe we don't need to do all this hard work. Maybe we don't need to figure things out for our potential clients, but they can figure it out from themselves. They can ask for help with what they need help with. So that was my experience. I see that happen with a lot of my clients as well. It's just once they start putting themselves out there, people are going to naturally recognize what your zone of genius is, what your talents are, and they're going to reach out and say, I want to be like you in this way. Can you help me do X, Y, and Z? So again, what you're responsible for is just showing up and sharing what's on your heart and mind, and then trusting that people will know what kind of help to ask for around that, and your niche can start to reveal itself in that way as well, as it did for me back in the day. So let's do a couple of bonus coaching questions that I used to have this as a freebie. It was like 7 easy ways to find and attract your unique niche. It was a worksheet. So I'm going to do these questions with all of you because people have told me they really like these questions. And this is going to help you all to get more clarity as well. Feel free to participate and answer in the comments, so that, remember, the more that you participate, the more likely you are to win a personal life coaching session with me. Okay, so the first question is, if you all want to take notes and write this down, go ahead, is our best clients are usually the past version of ourselves. So write down a time when you experienced the most pain or struggle in your life, and the thing or process that saved you from that personal hurricane. Okay, I'm going to do it again. Our best clients are usually the past version of ourselves. Write down a time when you experienced the most pain or struggle in your life, and the thing or process that saved you from that personal hurricane. Okay, so hopefully you got all that down, and that's like what we were talking about earlier with using yourself as an ideal client and going back to that time in your life when you were really struggling and there was that thing that like saved you or pulled you out of it. Okay, this is going to help you to figure out, we'll help you start to figure out like what your program or offering is. Okay, number 2. When we start putting out content onto social media, our vibe will attract our tribe. What would be really fun and exciting for you to talk about right now? Okay, I'll do that again. So when we start putting out content onto social media, our vibe will attract our tribe. What would be really fun and exciting for you to talk about right now? So with this one, this is getting you to think about, okay, what can I just go out there and start sharing and talking about? Because whatever you're excited and passionate about, that's what's going to land most for people. So it doesn't matter if it makes sense or if it's not on brand or any of those other things that people try to give us advice about. You know, it's just really all about like going out there and talking about the things we care about. And then from there, yeah, we'll start to notice like who's following, who's paying attention. I have a client right now who is a nurse, and she's leaving the nursing world to figure out what she wants to do next in life. And she just started a blog, and she's just writing about her experiences of everything she went through as a ICU nurse over the past 10, 15 years, however long she's been in. And from there, we're already gaining like so many answers about the type of people that have been following and reading her blog. And then from there, we're going to try to see like what kind of program we can put together to help people who following her blog. So as you can see, she's just like leading with her heart and her passion. And from there, we're going to get so many answers from that. Hi, Valerie. Welcome. Hi, Rose Emily. So excited that you all are here. Okay, next question is, what's an industry that you are passionate about that has gaps and you feel confident there's a solution you can fix? So I'll go ahead and say that again. What's an industry that you are passionate about that has gaps and you feel confident there's a solution you can fix? Okay, hopefully you have that written down. So this one is helping you to figure out, like, where is there a gap in something that already exists and how can you build upon it? How can you improve it? And that is where businesses are born. They're born from ideas of things that we think we can do it better. And that's how my first coaching business, I was a pregnancy coach. And I was so pissed. One of my past coaches said, "What are you pissed and passionate about?" And I was so pissed about how the hospital world treated pregnant women, treated them like they were ill and handicapped and just so demeaning and taking their power away, which is like the worst thing you can do to a pregnant woman, because she's so fucking incredible and like a goddess and creating life as we speak. And she needs to be honored and partnered with and really like getting on her level to help her to create the birth experience she wants. And so that's when I was like, you know what? I'm going to be a pregnancy coach and I'm going to help women to be mentally and emotionally prepared for labor. And so I did online prenatal coaching and prenatal yoga and journal prompts and meditations with pregnant women to get them ready and have the best labor experience of their life. And I did all that because I was so pissed and passionate about the gaps that I saw in the labor and delivery world. So hopefully that's something that can help to inspire you all with your own ideas. All right, let's see, what's another question? Okay, this is a simple one, or a shorter one. What's the most common thing that people come to you for help and advice with? What's the most common thing that people come to you for help and advice with? So this is a good one to pay attention to, because almost every single life coach that I know tells me, okay, I've been unofficially coaching people my whole life. People naturally reach out to me for help and wanting advice and comfort. So if you start to like see what are the patterns of people who reach out to you for help with, they are, like we talked about earlier, they are recognizing your skills, your zone of genius, your passion. A lot of times other people can see things that we can't see or feel for ourselves yet. I didn't know that I was a good coach, but when I was just like talking to people, my boyfriend at the time back in 2016 was like, "Wow, you're really amazing. Like every time you talk to someone, you help them to get results and you help them to feel better in their life. And you just have this way of being with people and it's like you're coaching them." And I had no idea what a coach was at the time, but like he identified it first for me and he saw that before I was able to see that, because I was so, up close to my own life and situations. So that's why it's so useful and helpful to use other people. What are other people, reaching out to you for help with? What do they feel comfortable coming to you? And that's going to help you figure out what is the number one problem you help to solve and who exactly do you help. And 2 more questions, and then we'll go ahead and start to wrap this up. Is what's an activity that you choose to do over and over again in your free time that you wouldn't even care if you got paid to do it because you love it so much. I'll read that again. What's an activity that you choose to do over and over again in your free time that you wouldn't even care if you got paid because you love it so much? So the reason I formed this question is what I've noticed is that usually the thing that we're the most afraid to charge for is the thing that we're supposed to be charging for, right? Because we're so just like in love and in touch with whatever it is that we're doing. So probably for a majority of us, it's coaching and listening to people and holding space for them. But like usually the thing that just you're so terrified of charging for, like that's the thing that you're meant to make the most money from. Okay, hands down, every single time. So whatever you're doing for fun or in your free time, you don't even care if you get paid for, like that's probably how you're meant to be making your money. And that's who you're supposed to be helping. Okay, last question is, what's a course or product or service that you wish you would have had access to back in the day that would have made your life easier? I'll say that again. What's a course, product, or service that you wish you would have had access to back in the day that would have made your life easier? So if you can think of that answer, that's probably going to help to contribute to the coaching program that you form and offer to people. All right. So that's all I have for today. I hope that was useful and helpful for everyone who's watching either live or later on the replay or will be listening later on the podcast. And I'd love to hear from you and let me know in the comments section, what clarity did you gain around your niche? I want to know, did you gain any clarity? And if so, what kind of clarity, what kind of answers came to you from listening to this or watching this? That was my whole goal for today, is to help you to have more clarity around this, around the program you're meant to offer, the people you're meant to help, because I truly do understand and know how frustrating it is when you don't have these answers and you're just so ready to go. You're ready to help people, you're ready to make money, and you're like, I just don't know what to create and do. So I hope that this helps today. Thank you so much for being such a valuable member of this Facebook group and taking the time to watch and participate. It just warms my heart. It means the world to me. And thank you for saying yes to this calling and honoring your purpose and putting yourself out there as a way to help make this world a better place. So, all right, everyone, enjoy the rest of your day, your evening, wherever you're at in the world, and I'll see you all next week, next Tuesday for our next free live training. All right, bye.